We got Dr. MJ Collier giving up a special K. Show your love a special K, y'all.
One time.
All right, we got Dr. MJ Collier giving us our coronavirus update. Dr. Collier, I'm talking about everybody got cabin fever now. Like, it's crazy.
Everybody have cabin fever this morning. Good morning, Rickey Smiley, and to all the Rickey Smiley morning show listeners. We have your coronavirus update for today, and let's start off with statistics as we always do. The number of cases has increased. Yesterday it was 608,000. Today it's 644,000. That's a plus number of 36,000 identified cases. The number of deaths increased from 25,981 to 28,554. So what's important about that is the trend. And remember, we were talking about peak week. Well, on Monday, there was 1,485 deaths. On Tuesday, that number increased to 2,381 deaths. And then yesterday, there was 2,573. So the number of deaths has increased. It almost doubled since just going through this week. So last week was not peak week. We're peaking in deaths this week, which is the only important statistic that counts. Now, boy, I tell you, the internet is ablaze with the theory that the SARS was a virus that was engineered, and the COVID-19 is a virus that was engineered, made in a lab in China, and released on the world, and like a James Bond conspiracy sort of thing. Well, again, this theory has been evaluated, and it's just, after doing the genetic sequencing of the virus, they have found that the genetic sequence confirms that it was animal-born, it did come from a bat, and it was just a mutated bat version of the coronavirus, the COVID-19. And so the chances are that it, could not have been manufactured in the lab. Now, anything is possible. We may find out a year from now that that's exactly what happened, but the science right now is not consistent with that. And so I think that, again, the talking heads are running out of things to talk about, and that was just a distraction that they wanted to give people to get people talking about something other than that we are not doing enough testing, and when are we going to open back up the economy? So that's where we are with that this morning, Ricky. Now, the question then becomes, what is going to be the criteria for opening up the economy? And the question is that there's uncertainties about human immune system's response to the coronavirus and whether you're going to have immunity after infection. Now, there were a couple of studies that have already been completed. One was with 18 volunteers. They retested them and rechallenged them after they were given inoculation with the disease. 6 of them had immunity, and 12 of them had some mutated immunity, but they didn't have complete immunity to it. Now, it's thought, based on previous infections with SARS, that's a similar coronavirus, that the immunity is only going to last about 2 years. And if you may have some antibodies for up to 3 years, but the question is whether those antibodies are going to be effective or not. So that gives us 2 years worth of immunity once we have enough people in the population that have been infected. Now, once we have herd immunity, we should have a vaccine at that point. The vaccine will be given to individuals, and then we should have longer lasting immunity. But, we still have to go through that process, and that process is, scheduled to take anywhere from 12 to 24 months. So, they're giving it to you in bits and pieces, but, and Dr. Collier is trying to make sure that you are well informed. They're telling you, okay, we're going to continue social distancing policies, procedures, and stay at home, stay in place for another 2 weeks, and at the end of the month, there's nothing unique about the end of the month other than the time has come and gone. They don't want to tell you that your entire summer is probably going to be wiped out because of this, and it is. So, start to prepare yourself mentally and emotionally now that nothing is going to change over the next few months, and we're going to still be in the same situation. So, Ricky, I'm not sure whether you're going to be able to spend a quality time on the boat traveling or not, but it's going to be, where we're going to be. We're going to have to continue our social media connections, Facebooking our friends and family, and really, really making sure that you're coming up with some creative ideas so that this cabin fever is not a problem.
Yeah, because I'm scared that cabin fever is going to get people contaminated. People get bored and naturally want to go back to the normal. And it's just so unsafe. You can see all these apartment complexes and everybody meeting up in these parking lots. Apartment complexes, everybody meeting up in parking lots, having like these little gatherings and parties and stuff. And they don't understand that they are actually putting themselves at risk.
They are definitely put. When you have concentrated living conditions like you do in an apartment complex,
hold that thought.
You are asking for it.
Hold that thought. Dr. MJ Collier, more Dr. MJ Collier coming up. Rick Smiley Morning Show. All right, y'all. Rick Smiley Morning Show at the top of the hour, y'all. Dr. Collier, real quick, let us know about everybody that's bored in their apartment and meeting up in these parking lots, having all these little parties and stuff, and especially these those people up there protesting the governor of Michigan. Let them know the kind of risk that they're putting themselves.
Okay, they're officially referring to them as Corona parties on social media, and it started off with the phenomenon of people saying we'll bring an infected person to us, and as a group we'll expose ourselves to that person so that we'll all get it and get immune. There are multiple reasons why that's such a bad idea. One, because you might not get a mild infection. Because it's mild infected in one person doesn't mean that you're going to have a mild case. And what we're finding is that even in individuals that had no history of lung disease, once they get over the coronavirus, we're finding that 15 to 20% of individuals have permanent, or they have 15 to 20% loss of lung function. And that's a permanent phenomenon. That's not going to go away. So their lungs have been damaged and will remain damaged for the remainder of their life. So this is a major, major issue and problem. So you don't need to expose yourself to the virus. Getting in groups and protesting socially because you are just, tired of the what's going on right now, the new normal. You got to come up with creative ideas, things that you can do alone or with the people in your family that you're quarantining with. But Ricky, this is real. I had a patient that came in yesterday, diabetes, hypertension, has been perfectly controlled for years. Yesterday, his blood pressure was off the chart. His blood sugar was off the chart. I thought that maybe he had run out of his medication. He said, "No, doc, I'm working from home." And I said, "Well, okay, that means you should be able to relax more." He said, "No." He said, "I'm with my wife and children all day." And he said it very emphatically, as in this is a problem with him mentally and emotionally, that he, his normal, break time was going to work, as were most individuals. And so that gave and allowed you to have quality time with your family members. But now you're spending 24/7 with them, and all those little nuances and things that bother you, like leaving the cap off the toothpaste tube, and every little thing can become a stressor. And stress, of course, decreases the function of your immune system, putting you at high risk for disease. Yesterday, Chris Cuomo, on CNN, who has been dealing with this, revealed that now his wife has it. She has been taking care of him for almost 2 weeks and doing a great, great job, but then she tested positive. So now you got the family situation. You got a husband and wife, both infected, and 3 children in the house who have not been infected to date. But now, how are you going to care for your family unit? This becomes a real issue for individuals, and you have to understand, particularly for black people who have to go out and work, who are in jobs they can't work from home, and then so the possibility of bringing the disease home is there. Now, one of the things, again, that I'm experiencing, when I come home from my office, I have to decontaminate myself, which means I have to take off my clothes, take a shower, clean myself. And I had a very, very nice dinner yesterday, but I wasn't ready to receive it because I had not decontaminated myself. So I had to make sure that before I interacted with the provider of that, the chef that brought that I had to decontaminate myself. So it was, again, the little things in life you don't think about, but that's very, very stressful. So this is not the time to overeat. And exercise is a very, very important component of that. And you can do old school military calisthenics. You can do, D-bends. You can do jumping jacks. You can do running in place. You don't have to go outside, but going outside isn't a bad idea. I have noticed that in my neighborhood now, every day there are people that are walking and running the neighborhood. They're maintaining social distances. They're speaking, but they're staying vibrant and alive. And it's very important that you interact with your neighbors and, in a positive way, but maintain your social distancing just so you can socialize, because we as a people are social beings. We like to meet and greet other people. We like to talk with other individuals. And it would be good, just to have a conversation with somebody outside of the home, just for your mental, health and saneness, if you will.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, we appreciate everything you do. Let everybody know how you can be reached.
Okay, you can reach me on all social media products at ASK Dr. MJ, and we'd be happy to to answer your questions. We try to answer them live on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show. And Rickey, on tomorrow's show, on tomorrow's segment, we're going to do a recapitulation. We're going to do a summary of everything about the coronavirus that we've dealt with up to this point. And that's going to be really, really informative. So I want all the listeners to be prepared to tune in. That might be the time to break out your pencil and paper, because a lot of the notes that you might want to take that. But again, everything that we talk about is being posted on social media, so you don't have to do that. But we're going to have a very informative segment summarizing everything on tomorrow's Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
And there it is, Dr. MJ Collier, y'all. What you got coming up next, Gary?
Coming up next, y'all, T.I. is telling the world he's excited about what he did. I'm going to tell you what it was next.